What's going on, guys? You know why you're here. We're talking Arizona basketball today, and we're continuing our series going around college basketball. So if you're a college basketball fan, please hit that subscribe button. And we will be looking at the roster, as I just said, for Arizona. And we're going to wait a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, once we get the full roster. Come back here and give you guys my predictions for the season, along with my projected rotation for Arizona. Before we move ahead, we gotta look back. And last year was a solid season for Arizona basketball. They went 24-13. They were 14-6, which was their first season in the Big 12, which was good for third in the conference. They had a shaky start to the season. They started off 3-4, just not ideal. Just not ideal. But then they got things going. They played a little bit better midpoint in the season. They made it to the Sweet 16 where they lost in a very competitive game to Duke. And now they've got to put the pieces back together because they lost quite a few big names from last year's team under head coach Tommy Lloyd. The biggest one, of course, is Caleb Love. The fifth-year guard averaged 17 points a game last season for Arizona. He was a really essential cog for that team, especially what he did in that Sweet 16 game against Duke. The shot making that Caleb Love showed in that game was tremendous. But not just him. KJ Lewis also transferred out from the program. He ended up coming off the bench, but just a really powerful, great defensive wing. Trey Townsend, who had come over, it was his last year of eligibility. The transfer from Oakland. They also lost Carter Bryant to the NBA draft, as well as Henry Vasar, who ended up transferring to North Carolina. But now we're going to turn the page here. We're going to start looking ahead into the 2025-26 season. We're going to look at this roster and how it's looking for Arizona. Okay, so we've got sorted here in jersey order, which is always fun. I always like doing it in jersey order because it creates a little bit more of a mystery as who's going to come up next. I'm terrible with the jersey numbers. Please like this video as well. It really helps with the algorithm. So I like that we start with number 0, Jaden Bradley, who will be in his third season now with Arizona. The senior guard he may not be their best player, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but he might be their most important. Averaged 12 points a game, 3.5 assists, 3.5 rebounds, almost 2 steals. Not much of a three-point shooter is Bradley, but he can get downhill and score around the rim, utilizing his speed and just aggressiveness to get to the basket. Only 32% from 3 on 2 attempts per game. It just shows he didn't have a lot of confidence. I think that's going to be an important part for this Arizona team is can they get enough three-point shooting. Dwayne Aristode comes over, top 30 recruit, good size, 6'8", 220. From the little bit I was able to read on Dwayne, doesn't seem to be much of a shooter right now. Maybe like a set shooter from the corners. That'll be something, again, worth monitoring. But somebody who is definitely a shooter is Anthony Delorso. In his second season after coming over from Campbell last year, Delorso is certainly a very good shooter. I think he averaged 7 points a game, but 41% from 3 on about 3 attempts. The only thing keeping Delorso from playing more is his defensive abilities. Braden Burries, top 10 recruit. This is a very, very strong freshman class for Arizona. One of the top 5 in the country for sure. The 6'4", 205-pound guard. He is certainly a guy who can get downhill and attack the basket. And from again what I read, I haven't had a chance to watch Burries. Seems like the outside shot is a little bit inconsistent as of right now, but that's what I read. If anyone has seen him, let me know if you disagree with that in the comments below. Bryce James. LeBron's son, Bronny's brother. 3-star recruit. Don't expect Bronny to play for this Arizona team. Just cool. Good for him that he is on this roster. Ivan Karchenkov comes over from Bayern. He played a little bit with the senior team, but most of his time was on the youth teams for Bayern. It's interesting, again, pretty fairly highly rated guy is Ivan. Good size, 6'7", 220, but the shot doesn't seem to be there for him yet. But again, you have a summer. Maybe some of these guys can improve. Koa Pete, top 10 recruit, fantastic player, can do a bit of everything. He can block shots, he can get steals. He's strong at 6'8", 230. He can make plays for his teammates. He can score in that mid-range. He likes that mid-range jumper right now. He can get all the way to the basket too. So he's a good defender, make plays for his teammates, score inside the arc. But the outside the arc stuff is not there as of right now. And that is a little bit of a theme with this Arizona roster and something I'm a little bit concerned about with them, although they do have good size in the front court for sure. Speaking of good size, Montijas Krivas is back. He only played 8 games last year. The 7'2" Lithuanian center. Hopefully he can be healthy. I think they've got a big role for him this upcoming season. City Gay and Mabil Mawut. City comes from Real Madrid. He's part of their program again, mostly with the youth team, similar to Ivan from earlier. And Mabil Mawut, he's played at, I think it's technically Our Savior Lutheran, but from when I was reading, that's the Jelly Fam team. But both of these guys, I don't expect to play a ton their freshman season. Seems like they're more development guys for hopefully a sophomore season if they stick around. Evan Nelson, very intriguing graduate transfer from Harvard. 6'2" guard, so I expect him to back up Jaden Bradley at the point guard spot, maybe share some time with him. But he is a guy who knocked down 40% from 3 on 3 attempts per game, so a solid shooter. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and about 1.5 steals in the Ivy League there. So I think this guy's got real skills and will certainly be a part of the rotation. And lastly, the last guy I got to highlight here is Tobe Awaka. The 6'8", 255-pound center, I guess, is where he's really been playing for this Arizona team. We'll probably split time with Montijas Krivas as long as Krivas is healthy at that center spot. Awaka last year averaged around 8 points, 8 rebounds. If he stays out of foul trouble, he's a walking double-double. It's just a question of foul trouble with Awaka. But this is a team with, like I said, lots of size in the front court. You combine the centers, Awaka, Krivas, with the guys that could play at the power forward spot, and Pete and Dwayne Aristode. And you've got some real size. You've also got decent guards with Nelson and Bradley. So I'm curious, how do you guys feel about this Arizona roster as we're heading into the 2025-26 season? We're only a couple months away as of the recording of this video. Until next time, guys, peace.